My name is Rhapsody. Welcome back to Darkest Dungeon, specifically the Darkest Rhapsody estate thereof. Alright, we've already got our party chosen. We've also got a lot of people getting treated up here in the sanitarium. It's important to note that none of these people have the Crimson Curse, lest they spread it. That is to say that if anyone had the Crimson Curse, they would spread it to other people that are also inside the sanitarium. So, our party is actually going to be Disnamir II, Prophet II, Hidden Dark, and 1L. In fact, in that order. And we are going to be embarking on a Warren's mission here. Now, the primary reasoning for this is so that I can level up Prophet, Hidden Dark, and 1L. The secondary benefit is that the Warrens has a higher density of negative quirk removal in terms of the piles of scrolls that you can burn for helping us not only level up Hidden Dark by taking her out on a mission, but also to remove some of the negatives that she has. For what it's worth, the negatives that she currently has aren't extremely bad, but I'd like to not have them specifically fragile. So the party is basically just built around the idea of 1L controlling the back line, Prophet controlling the front if that's necessary, and then Disnamir and Hidden Dark knocking in the damage. The damage. All ought to be good. All right, we're activating 3 animalistic shrines, which means we're going in with less in terms of space. Should only need like 2 shovels. 3 keys just in case. Is holy water even usable in this area? It's like 1 interactable for holy water. I think I'll pass. I'll take a 2nd medicinal herbs though. I could take bandage. I could take antivenom. I could also not do that because I have the ability to remove them with the battlefield medicine. Final thing I'm going to need is that many torches. Do I take any blood? I'm going to take 2 blood. It's possible that we really early encounter some bloodseekers. They, make one of my party members vulnerable, or rather Crimson Cursed. And then we need to start having the blood in order to treat them. Wanted to make absolutely certain I hadn't screwed up there. Again, we're electing not to take anyone who has the Crimson Curse so that we don't have the possibility of spawning the Fanatic.
The swine draw power from their horrid markings and crude idols. Tear them down.
I love how simple that becomes. Tear them down. Alright, unfortunately, I don't know that this path or this path don't have animalistic shrines. I should probably go, and then loop back down. So I only repeat 1 hallway in that action. That's really good, actually. So we don't actually have stress heal in this party. Our stress heal primarily is going to be provided by crits. It's also worth noting that usually 1L would be relatively incapable of using Blight in this area. However, we've also equipped 1L with the Hag's Ladle for the plus 30% Blight skill chance, as well as Blight resist and Disease resist that's actually relevant in this area.
A decisive
Great.
pummeling.
All right. With that action, it makes it a lot easier to do what my follow-up wants to be. Woo, with that crit. All right, we could actually get like a really early action from Hidden Dark next turn and just kill both those midliners. Not super keen on the fact that we got the stress across the party there, but it works out in the end. Ooh, nice dodge, Disnamir.
A singular strike.
Unfortunately, because the Cultist Gladiator moved forward, I wasn't able to kill them on that action. Obviously, that was the plan. I didn't think I was going to be capable of killing a Swine Reaver.
In Radiance, may we find victory.
You.
Confidence surges as the enemy
With
crumbles.
the splitting daggers, at least. That's what I didn't think I was going to be able to do. Swine Reaver is now dead. We do have self-stress heal.
Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
That's a quest location. So that's going to be my first shovel usage. I know I'm not going to use that one. So unless there's a like here, we need only one of those unscattered hallways to have a shovel. Sorry, a barricade.
Glittering gold, trinkets and baubles, paid for in blood.
Actually, one thing I should do here is poke my head up and check the curio directly above. I turned down the gold there because, again, we don't really need gold right now. We have been using a lot of our gold recently because we've been upgrading a lot of characters, because we've been losing a lot of characters, but that'll even out soon. Oh, it's just going to be really difficult to blight them. Damage. So what's my chance for the blight? 130, 150, 180. 60% chance to roll a blight on either of those backliners. I have to go for the stun instead. I wasn't even guaranteed to hit the stuns, by the way, but that still, to me, seems the better option. Nice. Real appreciative.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Managing to kill an enemy as well as get the self buff there is really helpful. Ooh, nice dodge. I gotta admit, I'm very unimpressed by Hidden Dark's damage output so far. Consider me underwhelmed. I'm gonna try and stun the frontliner. It's what, like a 50? Ah, it was a 60% chance actually. Much. I wanna munch squad. I want to munch squad.
Their cursed champion falls.
I actually didn't want both of them to die there. What I really wanted is the ability to remove
These
blight.
nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
Oh well, that happens from time to time. Good gosh. I'm actually considering throwing that skeleton key. Really want him. The busts in particular. Okay. It's gonna take a bunch of heirlooms home. This is gonna be real good for us. Whew. Shovel the first
Such
has been
blockages are
used.
unsurprising. These tunnels predate even the earliest settlers.
Dim light, just for the extra scouting chance. Immediately get this pickaxe out of my inventory. Ah, there's a second quest location already up in this direction. Alright, we're gonna have to control this field really well so that we don't get Crimson Cursed.
A devastating blow.
Not a bad start. Not a bad continuation, but the problem is now that we have to commit so many actions to kill any singular target. Supplicant should die to that. Nice. Sadly, Prophet is the only person who can heal Prophet. So if Prophet's damaged, Prophet has to do it. Prophet has to heal. They don't have a choice. The first time Prophet gets done.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
The blood is a chance to... Ooh, we resisted it as well. Don't you dare. Don't you... You... Really? I was counting on that being able to kill the sycophant.
The slow death. Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
Get that prestidigitation. I'm well aware that's not what it's called. It's what I want to call it. Still have to get that self-heal off. Otherwise, we are risking Prophet's death. And I've already done that enough, actually.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
Ooh, okay. Supplicant, if you act at the very end of the round, we're going to have the ability to do some self-healing. Hell yeah.
Soothed. Sedated.
We even got a blood back.
This expedition at least promises success.
I mean, I don't want it, but we did get it. But I don't want it. But if we wanted it, it's there. Even if we did, but we don't. Use the mirror with plus 30% damage until we camp, which is also almost going to guarantee that we decide not to camp over the course of this entire dungeon. At the very least, until the very end. Okay, we don't have this hallway scouted, unfortunately. Okay. Juanel is now a quick draw. That's actually really good. Hot to trot, as well as quick draw, means that we are just going to kind of dunk on fools on the front of the new rounds. Front of the new rounds. Yeah, that's apparently how I refer to the start of combat now. Nope, not risk-taking time. Sorry. I have taken so many shamblers over the course of this series that I really ought not to. But I have had my back broken way too many times recently to opt in again.
The light, the promise of safety.
That's actually the final animalistic shrine, so we now know that we can literally just leave after that. Probably not going to be a great idea to do. It's good to know that it's possible, even if I don't end up deciding to.
Well struck.
That's perfect. We were setting up for the Hue to be able to kill both of the frontliners here.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
Stun chance is 60% for us. Damn, failed it. Howl is probably the worst thing they could have done there. If they give us the worries, we're going to be really sad about that.
The abyss returns even the boldest gaze.
Unfortunately, that Slavering Ghoul is probably going to act before our Vestal. I hate that they did that in the second round.
Festering fear consumes the mind.
That's real bad for us. We need our HP, and stress is not good for that. Sorry, we need our HP. Sorry, we need our characters not to be stressed, and horror's not good for that.
Victory. Perhaps the turning point.
This actually turned out to be a really good map for us. Mission's over now. Obviously, that doesn't mean the mission is over, though. The mission's not over when the mission's over. The mission's over when the mission is over, okay? Also, I'm not readily aware. Oh, of course. There is actually an interactable with the holy water in this area. I forgot about the pile of bones. I'm not exceedingly certain that we would be able to immediately go into another mission after this, which is why, especially completing the entire mission for the rest of the value that we can get out of it is a good idea. Ah, I got resisted. That's a shame. Let's purge you. Doesn't move him. Alright, we tried to do a lot of things there and they didn't really work. I thought that I had Intimidate equipped on our leper, not Purge. It's a lot of stress on a singular target right there. Exactly the kind of thing I was trying to avoid.
Precision and power. Impressive.
Yeah, crits for 38 is really good.
Prodigious size
That was
alone
exact
does not
damage for the kill
dissuade
there as
the
well.
sharpened
It was 6 to
blade.
13 on the damage range, which meant that we were much more likely to kill it than not. But still, it was a risk.
Be wary. Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
It definitely does. I'm not certain I'm at risk of triumphant pride at the moment. Another thing that I'm going to be looking for here is the possibility of picking up a...
A fortune waiting to be spent.
No, not a fortune waiting to be spent, but to pick up... Oh, thank you for chiming in there, actually. Is picking up a treasure room so that I can get a fortune waiting to be... Wayne actually knew better than I did. I have to stun that backliner. I can't take a disease. I could cure a disease. I don't want to have to cure a disease.
A powerful blow.
Woo. Speaking of diseases, that can actually disease you. Let's just say that previous action.
Masterfully executed.
1 HP left on the swine spawn. That's rough. Skull tossed on Hidden Dark. Hidden Dark has the best dodge in this party, so you may have elected for the worst target.
The greater the glory. Ghoulish horrors. Brought low and driven into the mud.
We're going to be taking home a pretty ridiculous amount of... if only I took the holy water. I can't believe I forgot about Pile of Bones. I mean, I can interact with this with just the person with the highest bleed resist, which... Wow, it's actually profit. Seems not... I shouldn't have done that. Even though someone else had a higher chance to be bled, I shouldn't have done it on Prophet, because Prophet needs her HP right now. Speaking of, we're actually just gonna... give her a bunch of food there. Yup. We're getting some real good surprises off. Now, all we've got to do is... Ugh, come on! That enemy actually has 9 dodge. Like, so 9 dodge. We have 90 accuracy on the chop. 90 accuracy plus the trinket set that we're using. That's really bad. Like, it's enough, but I was really hoping I wasn't going to have to follow up with that attack. Plus the trinket set we're using is just a focus ring for accuracy, so 10 extra accuracy means we have 100 accuracy versus 9 dodge. We had a 91% chance to hit, but if we had 4 greater accuracy, we would have had a 100% chance to hit.
Destroyed. Compassion is a rarity.
I just can't have Prophet die in this battle, so I'm going to have to accept an action here. It's also worth noting, Prophet didn't really have the option to do that much that turn. Best thing Prophet could have done is attack the Swine Marcher with a stun, which in retrospect actually would have been useful. I was hoping that the Swine Marcher was not going to act ahead of, you know, a target that's 5 speed higher than them.
The
But, you know,
ground quakes.
that happens from time to time to time to time. Lap him.
Death waits for the
Yeah, we're definitely going to be
slightest
resting at the end of
lapse
this
in
dungeon just for
concentration.
stress healing. That'll help, though. Nice. Actually helps really significantly.
A trifling victory, but a victory nonetheless.
These dungeons are so easy when you just don't fight all of the infestation things that occur. I was trying to turn the light down before I did that, but didn't work out in that fashion. Alright.
Robbed of their writings, the swine will grow ever more ignorant. If such a thing were possible.
Robbed of their writings? That was an animalistic shrine that I was destroying. Alright, so we got 36 crests, we got 9 deeds, 9 portraits, 6 busts. Okay, we got everyone that needs to be on level 4 currently on level 4. Dark Temptation on Hidden Dark is actually going to force Hidden Dark to interact with some things that I would prefer Hidden Dark not interact with. Daredevil on Prophet, I mean, it might save them in a pinch, but it's not important. And Gifted immediately overrides Quick Draw there on 1L. That's okay. 1L was going to be incapable of locking in Quick Draw anyway, due to the fact that they already have 3 locked
The
in.
twisting tunnels no longer exhale the toxic stench of degeneracy.
Plus 33% resolve experience in the Warrens on the next quest, as well as plus 15% damage on the Warrens in the next quest. So if we took the same party to the Warrens next mission, we would just kind of be able to run through it. Especially given the way that Hidden Dark and Dysnomia contribute to our damage. Dysnomia, however, really ought not go back out with Grey Rot because the lore accuracy is just... It's a straight up killer for a leper. Really want to get back to Veil Lifted because I really want Shard of Glass for the extra bleed skill chance. On the Flagellant. There's also no Warren's mission I actually really want to go on right now. Yeah, that's just not happening. Ooh, Bright Tambourine. No, wait, we don't need Bright Tambourine because now we have the Dirge of the Dvard, which is fulfilling the same kind of role. Ridiculous increase in our stress skills. Yeah, it definitely looks like next mission is going to be back into the courtyard with the predetermined party, which I believe was going to be Prophet the Second. Hidden... Prophet the Second's already stressed out. That is a problem, actually. How much of a problem is it? Well, we're going to be camping before the Baron fight just so that we can get some battle buffs. So we'll actually have the opportunity to remove it a little. Okay, I don't think it's actually that bad. I also don't think the stress is going to stack up on us as ridiculously in the Baron fight as we take it slower. Tiger Army and Carpi in particular are going to round out our party for that. All right. One of the reasons that I was picking up so many different portraits, busts, and deeds and crests is because I really want the crests so that I can increase the wagon size here so that I can just find more things. Paralyzes crest. Do we already have a copy of that? I think we do. Yeah, I would have gone out of my way to get that earlier, so we do. Solar Bracer. Dark Bracer is a lot better than Solar Bracer. It has no downside. Whereas the Solar Bracer has a reasonable downside, because Dark Bracer you only really take on runs where you're not taking any torches, so you're not getting above 51. Whereas Solar Bracer, you run out of torches, you're going to start incurring those negative effects. Obviously, you can just move it off of the character, but the positive effects that you get when you have it aren't that great compared to the plus 8% crit in particular. Especially considering that when you're running Dark, all crits, including both player and monsters, are increased. So every extra point of crit at that point is getting you closer to, 50% crit or, 75% chance. I don't know if you can get much higher than that. I'm certain if you stack like a bunch of different effects, you could guarantee a crit, but I don't know how viable that would be. Luminous Anti-Healer Mania. Yeah, Luminous is nice, and it's very nice on a Hellion. Gives them the ability to act early enough to guarantee... What else is... Oh, it's Natural that's doing it right now. It gives them the ability to act early enough to use Barbaric Yorp extremely effectively. Vil... Dipsomania, Anemic... the others don't really matter to me. Obviously, Fear of Unholy is annoying, but I just wouldn't take them to the Unholy areas. Deadly. Yeah, you don't have bonuses that make it worth taking those negatives. Shando. Slugger, Stress Faster, Ablutomania, Off Guard, not worth. And everyone else is probably too low level to start picking up at this point. Alright, well, I think that's actually going to be it for this episode. Is there the sanitarium? Yeah, we're still far from the ability to get the third patient cells in the sanitarium. But for the moment, my name is Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Darkest Dungeon. These episodes are getting shorter and shorter and shorter. Yes. Because we've had to do kind of short recovery missions. As we go back into the Baron, oh god, that's probably going to be a short episode as well. Yikes. Well, after the Baron, we've got the Viscount and then the Countess, right? So we're going to have to start taking more reasonably powerful parties. I actually haven't even figured out exactly how we're going to go about that. That's another future discussion. For the moment, though, my name is Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Darkest Dungeon. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you next time.